One guy's seen it, the other guy hasn't. First guy's gonna tell the second guy all about it while they both get drunk.
All right, welcome to One Guy's Seen It, the only podcast where one guy has seen this movie, the other guy has not seen this movie, and the first guy is going to try to convince the second guy to see the movie. And if he succeeds, they will take a break, watch the movie, come back, nerd out about the movie, and decide how many beers you need to enjoy the movie, all while getting progressively more inebriated, because that is what they choose to do with their sentience. But without any further ado, or rigmarole, or hoopla, or ballyhoo, let's get into it. Sumner, give me the skinny, as though we haven't been talking on the phone for the last 10 minutes where you gave me the skinny.
Yeah, I think we've been talking for like an hour straight. That's the thing.
This is the biggest mistake. We keep doing this. We talk on the phone to catch up. We get rid of all of our good stories, and we get on podcasts and don't know what to talk about.
Yeah, and then we're just like, yeah, what's going on, man? Good to hear from you.
Nothing new.
Yeah, I've been doing pretty good. Just been chilling. I've been watching a lot of Twin Peaks lately. I think I sent you a clip from the show the other day.
Yeah, what the fuck was that about?
So the clip I sent Jeff was a clip of David Lynch's show Twin Peaks from back in the 90s, and there's a character played by Jack Nance who is Henry from Eraserhead.
Oh, crazy.
And
yeah, he was looking old.
Yeah, and he's just got this, he's like, Grand Theft Auto. And he's like, the log lady stole my truck. And it's officially my favorite scene in television history.
Yeah, I feel like I needed some context. I was just on a limb. I watched it like 3 times.
That's the beautiful thing about Twin Peaks, is context is secondary to what's happening on screen. But it has become one of my favorite television programs of all time, and I highly recommend that you watch it.
I've heard that it's a lot of people's favorite.
Yeah,
and way better than the X-Files, which I've watched all of, regrettably so.
Yeah, I would put it above. Well, it's difficult to explain, but I mean, like, I don't know. It's so like the premise is like, the young girl in town gets murdered, and then they have to like solve the murder. Like it's the whole premise of the show.
Right.
And but even for 1990, and like you'd think like by now like something's come out that's even like crazier and weirder. There's nothing I've ever seen that's quite like this show. And it's pure David Lynch. And the fact that he got it on network television is kind of a testament to mankind. It's so weird, and nothing I can say will prepare you for some of the stuff that's in it. But
but I thought NYU film students didn't think David Lynch was cool anymore.
Well, they're fucking wrong. They're stupid.
Wasn't there a reboot of it recently?
Yeah, and I'm watching that next, The Return.
Did Lynch have anything to do with it, or is it more of just a tribute?
Oh, it's all him.
Oh, nice. The reboot?
Yeah.
Cool.
One of my favorite things is he acts in the show too. Like he has like a little bit in the original show. I think he's more prevalent in The Return, but his character is hard of hearing in the show, and so he's like walks around with this like fucking weird looking like hearing device. He's like, Agent Cooper, I heard, and he like screams at them even though he's the one that can't hear.
Wait, is it like one of those old school fucking like looks like a little trumpet going into his ear, like
yeah,
like 1800s kind of ear horn things?
Well, he's got like they're like little like earbuds, and then he's got a little like microphone like on his like lapel on his jacket.
Nice.
But he's just screaming at everyone on the show, and everybody's like, "You don't have to yell, Cole." He's like, "What? I can't understand you."
Yeah, this sounds awesome.
Oh, it's amazing. Character-driven show. I just want to have a whole episode where we talk about Twin Peaks. That's what I'm telling you.
That's what's tough. Like there are so many great series and shows that I know you haven't watched that I want to introduce you to. It'd be cool to do. It'd be whether it's like a special episode every once in a while, or even its own podcast where one of us has seen a whole series. It's just harder to do. We can't take a break and then binge a whole series. It's like we're gonna have to
like
plan it out a little more.
We'd have to come in ready to go and break down all the episodes.
Actually, we could keep the same format and just do a season at a time. Just do each episode as its own podcast. That's probably the way to do it.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Actually, I'd enjoy doing that.
Yeah, man, and that makes me mad too because we could have, because like the way that I've been releasing these is because you can choose at the podcast host level like whether you want it to be a season and what you want to name the season or whatever. And I figured, we were never gonna have seasons. We're just kind of going episode by episode.
Yeah.
So I've just been dropping everything as episode number whatever. But now that I think about it, I kind of wish I would have made all of our regular ones a season so that we could have different seasons of whatever we wanted. Maybe there's still a way to do it.
Yeah. These are our original original.
Yeah, this is the mainline series.
If you're a fan of this show and you're like listening back to old episodes for some reason, yeah, you this is like where we just sit at the beginning of every episode and just plan out what we're gonna do, like how this show's gonna work.
Right. Hey, you gotta let people in on the creative process. That's half the joy. This
is where our lore comes in. Like if you want all the inside jokes about the show, it's right here.
Yes. Wait. What was the TV shirt idea you came up with last time?
Oh fuck.
It was like when you hear the trumpet, or it's something to do with the trumpet. It was shit. I'm gonna have to go back and re-listen and figure out what that was. Because we're gonna get some social media going soon. That's all on you, some diddly. Once you get that going, we'll start doing the merch, the print-on-demand merch.
Yeah, I can't wait. I want merch ideas.
What the fuck was it? It was like Trump. When you hear the trumpet hook, spoilers ahead. But you came up with something that was really catchy. I'll have to go back and find it. It's gonna drive me fucking crazy.
Yeah, all my best ideas are when I'm drunk and then I can never remember them.
Right. Speaking of which, what are we drinking today, Sumster? What you got?
I am drinking a super dry Asahi beer. It's just like one of the. It's kind of like the Coca-Cola here. They kind of just own a bunch of different drinks, and I don't even know what this is, but it's it doesn't even say what kind of beer it is. It's just beer, super dry.
Nice. Sounds like it's gonna get you drunk.
Yeah, I was telling Jeff before too. It's like, like the normal cans, they have like, the little opening at the top, but this one specifically, you just take off the whole top of the beer, and it's just like this. Your whole beer is exposed to the elements, so it gets like flat super fast. So I have to drink it really quickly.
Yeah, I mean that was clearly a product design decision. I just don't know what. Maybe that's how it's designed to be drunk slightly flat. Who knows?
This was the cheapest beer I could find though, so maybe that's why.
Well, I'm sure it will still get you drunk, which is all part of the plan. I am rocking this. I think the brand is Delicious IPA. Delicious. It's kind of cool. They've got the word delicious written all around the can. So like if you take like the whole 6-pack and you set them all next to each other, you can spell out the word delicious across the cans.
Oh.
Which is really the only reason I care about this beer at all.
Some marketing student was like, I learned about this in class. I think if we do this.
Yeah, dude, seriously. I mean, I'm a sucker for design, man. I'm easy. I judge every book by its cover.
Yeah. I think that's it's in terms of business, I think it's a pretty fair assumption to judge by its cover.
Yeah, man.
No,
I mean, that's the only reason the Jewel was so successful. Is it looked like a freaking iPod.
Looked like the monolith from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
It did. Yeah, man. I just binged the whole Rise and Fall of Jewel on Netflix, which is really good if you haven't seen it.
That's like an actual show.
Yeah, brand new Netflix documentary where they document the rise and fall of it, and it's really interesting because we experienced all that shit in real time, obviously, but as people who were already vaping, I mean, I was vaping to quit. I was a pack-a-day smoker for 5 years,
which I take credit for fully.
Yes, I give you full credit for helping me quit the most disastrous habit known to mankind, and replacing it with this is the bummer, right? Is like I feel infinitely better since I quit smoking, but I'm way more addicted to nicotine than I ever was because I could just vape inside all day.
Yeah, it's so much more readily available. You don't have to have the excuse to go outside, or you don't have to come up with excuses to leave.
Yeah, it's so much better. But the documentary is really good. You should watch it. For one, it really makes me happy. They spend a lot of time in one of the episodes talking about the craziness that happened in 2019 when it was all over the news media that people were dying from vaping. Like all these high school kids were in hospitals all over the country from some strange lung disease, and it was Juul. Look, Juul made a lot of mistakes, right? Like they had the whole tech mindset, which is move fast, break things, right? Like they hired a great marketing guy to put a really good campaign together with like young, good-looking people dancing in what looked like knockoff Apple commercials, right?
Right.
And it's like they did everything they needed to do to make the product grow as quickly as possible. Like they hired social media influencers, and it's just they just forgot somewhere along the way that it is a nicotine product, like it is a tobacco product, and you just can't market it that way and not expect consequences.
Yeah.
And it was what made it so popular and inevitably what killed it. But and Juul took the downfall when all those kids were getting sick in the hospital with these lung diseases. And this is what makes me fucking insane, because I had so many arguments while this was happening with so many people about this.
Yeah.
But these kids that were dying, they found in their lungs vitamin E acetate in all of their lungs, which is a chemical that is not present in any e-liquids that you would buy at a vape store. And after an investigation and all that shit, they found out that these kids were getting sick because they were smoking black market THC vape cartridges that drug dealers were filling with like vitamin E acetate jelly that you could buy at a fucking HEB. Like they were filling these cartridges with fake bullshit that these kids were smoking, and it was killing them. And the entire vaping industry like took the hit for it because the media decided it wasn't important to differentiate between black market drug THC cartridges and FDA approved and regulated nicotine product. Like two completely different things, but vaping as an industry took a huge hit, and Juul went down majorly as a result of all of that shit. But what makes me more mad than anything, I'm done with my rant, I swear, I'll get off my soapbox, is that the media started this fire, right? By saying, oh, vaping is more dangerous than anyone thinks. It's killing all of the nation's children. Yeah. And then when the investigations happened and everyone realized, oh, wait, it wasn't Juul. It wasn't FDA approved products. It was these illegal black market cartridges. No one talked about it because the news never wants to say, oh, sorry, we were wrong. Like media outlets don't ever want to admit that they were wrong or that they misreported something. So it just fades into obscurity and gets replaced by whatever the fuck else is going on. It's just, I'm still having conversations with adults that don't know anything, that see me vaping, that are like, oh, you're going to get some kind of weird lung disease. It's like, look, I understand that vaping's only really been popular for a decade or so. We don't know any of the long-term health effects, but there have been none so far over a decade. No one has died from vaping a fucking e-cig that was FDA regulated and approved and whatever. Like, yeah, no one's died. It hasn't killed anybody. People that have died are people that, were using like some kind of weird battery combination on some kind of super mod and it exploded in their face and melted their skin off. Like that's very different than using a fucking pod vape. Anyway, I digress. I hate that because the news media was so desperate for a big story and they tarnished an entire industry, and for millions of the world's smokers that have managed to quit smoking and feel way better and love vaping as an alternative, now we have to get dirty looks from everybody. Oh, you're killing yourself. It's just, I hate that I have to explain it, and the media doesn't give enough of a shit to correct themselves. I'm sorry. I'm done with my rant.
No, you're good. Yeah, I think I have a conversation with my mom at least once a week. She's like, are you still vaping? I'm like, yes, Mom.
God. It's misinformation, people. It's misinformation. Other than, being sugary vape juice on your teeth. It's obviously not great for your teeth. Anything you're sucking into your lungs isn't as good as regular oxygen, but it's just glycerin and nicotine, and it dissipates in your lungs. It's fine. God. It's less harmful for you than coffee, okay? So everybody suck it. Moving on.
I'm drinking coffee, beer, and I'm vaping right now. I got the trifecta of death going right now.
Damn right. We're young adults and we do what we want.
We're gonna live forever, man. Andy and I got sucked down a rabbit hole of these like women influencers that they make their they prep their meals and then they go through their routines like on a daily basis. And they break down all the shit that they eat, and it's like disgusting. Like, well, not disgusting, but it's like vegetables and nuts. And she's like, it's actually better than sugary drinks. It wakes me up and I feel so much more alive. I'm like, you're gonna fucking die, okay? You can't solve death. It's going to happen to you. I'm not saying that you shouldn't take care of yourself. I'm just saying that like you're like acting better than everybody because you live your life a particular way. It's like you're still gonna get cancer. You're gonna get heart disease. You're gonna die.
You're still gonna die. I don't know, man. The way ChatGPT is going, I think ChatGPT could solve death.
I think so. Oh, well, if they just download your brain into a 2 terabyte hard drive, and there you go.
Boom, there you go, Dunskies. Man, I gotta send you this video from like the Australian press that Kaylee just showed me of like a form of ChatGPT, but customized and recoded to do a bunch of things a little differently. But they programmed it into like a mannequin of a woman that sort of has like facial expressions that can shift based on what it's gonna say. It's a generative AI, but it's really cool. Like it's the closest thing we've seen to like Detroit Become Human in real life. And it's really cool and also terrifying because it's like obviously like when this AI is acting human and it's just like, you know, these are all coded responses, these things that it's saying, but it's enough to fool someone who doesn't know any better. Like, oh, this thing really does have feelings and the things that I'm saying affect it. And dude, it's so funny at the beginning of it, the guy who created it, is just shit talk, like abusing it. Like he's like shut up. I forget the name of the AI, but it reminds me so much of that the second level of Detroit Become Human, where the gross ass guy is like abusing his AI or whatever.
He's like, take wash my underwear, you fucking stupid bitch.
You stupid bitch. Yeah, it's basically how this thing's creator was treating him, and all the comments are hilarious. They're like, this chick is gonna start the uprising. Like she's the one. But it's all really exciting tech, right? Because basically all it is right now, as far as like a useful thing, it's just the internet with a face, right? Like you ask it questions and it's going to scan the internet and give you a response that sounds like a person. And that's what AI is and is going to be, I feel like, for a long time. But the bottom line is you could code this thing if you really wanted to. Like it's getting so sophisticated, the technology. You could code it to have some kind of understanding, or at least a false understanding that it's conscious. Or an understanding of what consciousness is and that it has it. Yeah. And you could code it to have free will, and that's when we have problems, right? Yeah. That's where we get Skynet. That's where it all starts to get ugly, because this thing says, oh, well, if all you have to do is code it to put its self-interest first, and it'll scan the internet, realize we're destroying the planet, decide that we're unnecessary.
Extermination is the only answer.
Yes, it will manufacture an AI army and take us all down.
Yeah, I think that's the last thing we need at this point. We have too many problems. Or maybe it's the only thing we need. But I'm not advocating for genocide. I'm going to stop talking now because I don't want that on record anymore.
Nope. We are going to watch some movie. You're going to tell me about this movie right now. It's spooky season. We got another spooky movie on the horizon, I would imagine.
I'm very excited about this one. This is one of the first ones that I wrote down when we decided that we were going to do this one. So I'm very excited.
Sweet.
So this one is a sequel. You did a sequel recently, right? Or you were like about to? Oh no, it was like something I'd already seen, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, but go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, came out in 1987, and it stars Bruce Campbell. Do you have any idea where I'm going with this?
Nope, not a fucking clue.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna read the IMDb synopsis, and then a couple of things after that.
Sweet.
All right, so the synopsis is: a lone survivor of an onslaught of flesh-possessing spirits holes up in a cabin with a group of strangers while the demons continue their attack. Very simple.
Ooh. Is this Evil Dead 2?
Yes, you fucker. Have you seen it?
So, no. So here's the thing. I was really hoping at some point that you would pull some Evil Dead on me, because I've experienced so many things that were influenced by it, and also like video games, but the original movie I watched with my dad when I was a kid, but I don't remember it at all.
Yeah.
So is it okay to kind of go into a sequel without really remembering anything from the first movie?
Yeah. So the funny thing about this movie, it was so one of the things I've written for the trivia is Stephen King really loved the first one. And I think he like claimed at the time it was like the greatest horror movie ever made. And So he pretty much was the one that bankrolled the movie. Like he helped get it made, the second one made.
Oh, wow.
And so they were like, so in 1987, it was like 7 years after the original came out. They were like, oh, nobody's probably seen this, so we have to like. So the first like 10 to 15 minutes is just recapping what happened in the first one, but instead of 5 kids in the woods, it's just Bruce Campbell and his girlfriend in the cabin, and it just kind of
Nice.
So it gives you a run. So it's like it's almost like a standalone movie. Like you don't even, unless you want to watch it, you don't have to.
Fuck yes. I'm so hyped. I've been looking for an excuse to get into these movies, and I finally have it.
And so yeah, I'll run through. So it was directed by Sam Raimi, who did the Spider-Man trilogy, the original one,
Right.
and Drag Me to Hell, which I think is one of your favorite horror movies.
No, actually, I have not seen Drag Me to Hell.
Oh, really? I thought you were talking. Maybe
No, really.
Oh, I got you mixed up with someone else in my
ever
mind.
since I started dating Kaylee, my horror movie fandom has fallen off a cliff because she can't do the jump scares, and I mean, it was pulling teeth to get her to watch Scream the other night, and it's not even a horror movie.
Yeah, it's
Love you, Kales. We need to watch more scary movies.
Love you too, Kaylee. But
anyway,
that was an awkward pause. Shit.
No, it's fine. I'll extend the pause for like another 5 seconds to make it even worse when I listen back.
But I lost my whole train of thought. Oh, okay.
Oh, you were talking about Sam Raimi did Spider-Man trilogy and Drag Me to Hell, and
yeah, and then he's done a bunch of stuff. But so due to the extreme violence of the movie was rated X by the board and or the MPAA at the time. And so the thing about X-rated or NC-17 movies is if they're slapped with that, a lot of theaters around the country won't show the movie because it's like, only a certain section can go see it.
Right.
So they had to release it unrated, and so they somehow got around that with the release of this. But it is often cited as one of the most influential cult movies of all time, and influenced people like the Coen brothers, and I think Joel Coen was like an assistant editor on it.
Whoa, cool.
And so he got to start with this, and then Quentin Tarantino, Peter Jackson, Edgar Wright, who did Shaun of the Dead.
What the fuck? All these people were involved with this movie?
No, they were influenced by this movie.
Oh, okay. Still equally awesome.
Yeah, and Drew Goddard, who did Cabin in the Woods.
Fuck yes.
and it eventually helped popularize the comedy horror genre.
Oh, it's comedy horror. See, I know so little about it. I'm so stoked. This is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and it's like, well, like the comedy horror movies of the 80s were more like family oriented. So there's like Beetlejuice and Gremlins and like, I don't know, Ghostbusters, I guess you could say. But like there was like that subsect of really weird, fucked up, ultra violent horror movies like Fright Night and Return of the Living Dead and The Reanimator, like things like that were like mild successes. And then I think Evil Dead 2 was just so influential that it ended up popularizing it later on.
Hell yeah. Have you seen the OG Night of the Living Dead, the black and white one?
Yes. Yeah, I have.
Dude, I just watched it for the first time a couple weeks ago. It's so awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Like, genuinely disturbing, even with all the cheesiness. Like,
I love the ending, too.
I loved it.
It's so,
yeah.
Still, well, I don't even know about relevant, but it makes a statement for sure.
Fucking A.
And
well, I think we've fucked around enough. Should we get straight to it, or is there any more trivia?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I'd watched the sequel, the Dawn of the Dead sequel that came out in the 70s.
Wait, the Dawn of the Dead sequel?
Or the sequel to Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, I didn't even know I didn't know that was the sequel.
Yeah. It's...
Holy shit.
The thing about that movie is, like, you can't really find it anywhere. Like, for some reason, like, the rights to it got really fucked up, and so it's really difficult to find, but it's, like, it's on YouTube, the whole movie, for free. Like, you can watch it, and I watched it the other day, and it's fucking awesome.
Sweet.
So maybe throw that out at some point. But anyway, that's all I get.
Fucking A. Well, we are going to go watch this movie, Evil Dead 2. It is spooky season, and we'll be back with One Guy's Seen It.
I'll swallow your soul. I'll swallow your soul. I'll swallow your soul.
I'll swallow it.
Oh, yes. Swallow this.
Wow, we did it, man. Evil Dead 2. That was a moving picture.
That was a moving picture.
That's one of them moving pitches I've been hearing about.
It's a quality film.
Dude, that shit was bananas.
Yeah, what'd you think?
Dude, okay, so I first of all, I loved it. I mean, how could you not? Especially any kind of horror fan at all. Like, the whole movie felt like I was watching a series of memes that wouldn't stop.
Yeah. It's relentless, especially in like the first half.
Yeah, just fucking relentless memes, and all in a good way. Like, yeah, man. I mean, I don't even know where to start. Like, it was so wild.
Yeah, it's
I feel like there was really only maybe like 10 total lines of dialogue in the whole movie. Like, it was mostly screams.
Just all of Bruce Campbell's one-liners.
Dude, okay. Tell me he's not related in some way to Jason Lee. Like, I feel like I don't know how to explain it. Like, I think there are only 2 eyebrows, like raised eyebrows in cinema history that can compete with Bruce Campbell in this movie. One is Jim Carrey. I feel like Jim Carrey's got the one eyebrow, the animated one eyebrow down, and also Jason Lee. I don't know why I got mad Jason Lee vibes from Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, that's really just the brunette hair, like the the similar face. I don't even know what you're seeing, honestly.
I don't know what it is. I just saw Jason Lee in him. Like, I feel like, has there already been a reboot of this? I feel like there wasn't there, like 10 years ago?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they made a remake of the first one, which came out in 2013 or 2014, which I hated, but a lot of Evil Dead people liked. But it was like they kind of abandoned all the comedy aspects of it and just decided to do a straight up like Cabin in the Woods horror movie. But the thing with the movie is like Cabin in the Woods had already come out like a couple years before that, so like trying to do it seriously was just like, I don't know, it doesn't work anymore. Like, you kind of have to, do the comedy thing, or it's not gonna, work anymore.
Yeah, and it was interesting too, because throughout the movie I couldn't decide. Like, obviously a lot of it was fucking hilarious, but I didn't. There was something, because it's a campy horror movie from the 80s. There were moments where I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be funny or if it was just funny inherently because of like the time period and the way that they shot it. Like,
that's the charm of the movie, is you don't know if it's supposed to be funny.
Yes, like, and I think I like that. Like, there was one scene where when the blonde boyfriend guy, who, God, what a character he was.
Oh.
Like, he
I actually forgot he was in the movie.
Dude,
until
seriously, he's like the most pointless fucking character, except to eat Bobby Joe's hair for a second. But like right after he eats Bobby Joe's hair, he throws. I don't even think they ever say the name of the truck driver, Bobby Joe's husband or boyfriend, or, which, by the way, what are they doing together? Like, he could be her dad. Like, it makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, I think about that a lot, because they're the most mismatched pair of all time.
Yeah, it's so weird. But there's that scene when the blonde guy suddenly turns Evil Dead and he starts eating Bobby Joe's hair, and then he throws the tow truck guy up into the ceiling. And it looks like, he throws him so hard that it looks like he's going to go through the ceiling. And he goes just high enough to break his head on the light bulb above him and then falls back down.
Yeah.
And like, that was one of those scenes where I could not tell if it was trying to be funny. Like, or if it was just supposed to be like this, scary demon guy throwing him up in the air. But it was fucking hilarious. Like, the way it was shot.
Yeah.
And like just the motion of it. And I love too that like they don't even address it. Like, he's just fine in the next scene, the tow truck driver. Like, he got thrown into the ceiling, and there was I know, like, there's absolutely no reason to pick apart this movie in any kind of meaningful way, because it is what it is.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it great.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the whole intro was awesome. I loved the narrator intro. I like some of Bruce Campbell's first lines with what's her face? What was her name?
Linda.
Linda. Yeah, we're really like the first. How about some champagne, baby? After all, I'm a man and you're a woman. Last time I checked. Like I was like, oh yeah, this movie's gonna be great. Like that's all I needed to kick things off.
My favorite thing about the movie is like, you know, you have those opening moments happening, and it's like you think you know what you're in for, and then like 20 minutes go by, and you're like, oh shit, I have no idea what this movie's gonna throw at me.
Yeah, it really. I took note of how quickly Linda got fucked up, which sort of. Mm-hmm. And okay, so one thing. All the stop motion effects I thought were an interesting choice because I feel like, especially in what I imagine is like a classic scene, there were so many scenes in this movie that I figure are just classic scenes that people talk about. But one of them being Linda's like dancing scene when she first comes up from the dead at the beginning of the movie. And it's this stop motion scene where she's doing this dance. And the first thought that I had was like, when she like appears at the window and it's no longer the stop motion doll thing and it's her in a mask or whatever, I thought that she was way more terrifying. Like I feel like they could have done that whole dance scene with like her in makeup and a costume or whatever, and it would have been way scarier. But like the stop motionness of it was just so kitschy that it like. And I know that's what makes Evil Dead, because like even in the bits and pieces I've seen on TV, even from like Army of Darkness and shit, like I know the stop motion thing is like, that's like it's a thing. But I was just like, man, this would be way scarier if she wasn't an obvious stop motion doll right now.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. It's like, so I was watching it, and there's, you know, the camera work, the cinematography style is a lot like crazy, like Scorsese movies, you know, like Goodfellas era, like really kinetic camera movements and crazy things happening.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of Sam Raimi's style that is just like, we're just going to throw every device we possibly can into a movie and just see what works kind of thing. Even stuff that doesn't work. And that's kind of why I like him a lot, because there are even moments where like the little demon head, like, its neck like elongates and like starts going all crazy, and it's almost reminiscent of like 1933 like King Kong, you know, like the stop motion ape like walking around.
Yeah, speaking of ape, not to interrupt you, but I had to bring this up. So a lot of the like noise and screams and stuff that the monsters were making were so obvious animal noises, like Henrietta. When Henrietta at the very end, like he has a big confrontation with her and she's the fat blob and then her neck gets all extended and he starts chopping her up with the chainsaw. Like her screams were very obviously a monkey. Like, and they didn't do anything to like try to distort the audio or manipulate it in any way. They were just obvious monkey screams. And I was like, that's at what point is it intended or is it just lazy? Like I didn't know.
Yeah, it's almost like, it's about as tongue-in-cheek as you can get. Like, they're not even trying to hide it, and like that's kind of the charm of it.
Yeah, okay, like, that's kind of what I figured.
Yeah, and it's not, it's so hard to explain, but it's like, so, you know, there's a big like American independent film movement that happened in the 90s, and it's like, you know, like Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs and all the Coen Brothers movie, you know, like all like a bunch of new directors came out, and like Spike Lee and like stuff like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So like this came out in 87, and this was like a big precursor to like that Gen X like apathetic sarcasm kind of thing. It's like taking a premise like that would have been, you know, like that could have been used in like the 50s or the 70s, and like just doing every crazy possible thing you can do because you're like a young filmmaker and you can just try anything.
Right.
And it has that like spirit of like, well, there's a guy in a house and like they're demons, like what do we do with that? And they just like anything they thought of that could be either intentionally horrific or unintentionally hilarious, like they just did. And it's just, I think now it's like maybe that gets lost on people, but it's I don't know. It's kind of a breed of its own. It's like can't really be duplicated in any way.
Yeah, place and time like that. And I imagine it inspired so many lookalikes and other movies.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, it's one of those things where a movie can be so influential that people that have grown up seeing the movies that it influenced watch it and they're like, this isn't anything new for me, but it's hard for them to understand like what it did at the time.
Well, definitely Edgar Wright, because we were talking about that before. It's like one of the influences was Edgar Wright, and then there are moments with the like montages when he's in the work shed at the end and he's making the chainsaw arm.
Yeah,
and all those reminded me of like Hot Fuzz or Shaun of the Dead. Those like quick montage things.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember when we watched Shaun of the Dead together. I remember you pointing it out that like I remember you mentioning Evil Dead. Even then, that was years ago.
Yeah, and it's such a it's only obvious because it's such a specific thing. Like, you know, it's like he's definitely like taking that. But I mean, in Shaun of the Dead, it's done in a funny way because he's just like brushing his teeth and like he's like going to work and like, you know, just really mundane things.
And we even
funny.
I don't know if you remember this, but when we were in college, I had this project where I had to come up with like a fake business, and it was like an Uber for rehearsal spaces, you know, for artists.
Oh yeah,
Remember?
which
You shot that
still
shit.
think is a really good idea.
Yeah.
I did.
And I did that. Like all the plugging in the amps and everything was those quick zoom cuts and shots. And it's just funny. Like even that little stupid thing, I was influenced by this without knowing it.
Yeah. And it's funny how that gets translated down through pop culture.
Yeah, man. I mean, there was so much. Like, I feel like this had to be awesome to see at a drive-in. Like, I know there are still drive-in theaters, and I wonder if they ever do Evil Dead. Like, I would love to see this in that kind of environment.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just one of those, like, like lightning in a bottle kind of things. It's, I don't know. I think it's difficult to explain to people that are not as familiar with horror movies. But, I mean, like, you and I have seen a ton of movies, and, like, they're, like, there's, like, a vibe you get. Like, you're like, oh, I get what this is. But, you know, you can't put your finger on it exactly.
Yeah, and
Like
you have
just
to love horror enough as a genre to be like, okay, I get what this is, and I'm going to put my mind in that place, and I'm going to enjoy it. And I feel like a lot of people can't really do that. There's, oh, this is stupid. Like, they can't. You just got to be able to appreciate it.
There was also a funny thing that it happened multiple times, and this is the first time I've ever, like, really, like, noticed it, like, completely. But there's several moments where Bruce Campbell or somebody's, like, looking out into the distance, and then they're like looking out in front of them, and then somebody comes and like either tackles them to the ground or gets them like right in front of their face, and they don't see them coming until they're like in the frame of the camera. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
They're distracted by the spirit.
Yeah, it's just like it's like an old filmmaking tool. I think like Buster Keaton talked about it. He's like even back in the 1920s, like the comedic role is like, if the camera can't see it, the character can't see it either. And it's like that really old style of filmmaking.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, you don't know why it's funny, but it's unintentionally hilarious because it's like you should have totally seen him coming from a mile away.
Right. Yeah. And I got to say, like, because usually when those things would happen, it would cut to the spirit cam, you know, driving through the forest. I'm calling it the spirit cam.
Yeah. Which is a really big innovation at the time. There had not been camera work that really looked like that up until then.
Yeah, I was curious what they were using to do it, because it almost seemed like it was a camera on a dirt bike or something. Like,
yeah, it's like it was a little dolly thing, and it was screwed into like a piece of wood, so it would like jitter and shake in like a really like fucked up way, and then like, you know, they crank the shutter down really low, so it has this like jittery kind of quality to it.
Yeah, pretty awesome. With all the classic scenes that I feel like have to be classic scenes by this point, I think my favorite moment of the movie is when he gets possessed for the first time, right? And the spirit is driving him through the trees, like he's just flying through the trees and getting hit by all the branches. And when he falls down, when he hits the tree and he falls into the puddle, and it's daytime, and he comes up, and the spirit leaves him because it's daytime, and his face is just looking up into the sky, and he's cross-eyed, and he like falls down and passes out. It's like a 5-second scene of him just being cross-eyed, staring into the camera, like as he's falling down. And I was like, how have I not seen this in like a meme? Or I was like, it was the first moment. I was like, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, and all his acting is like, I think I even wrote down, it's like Looney Tune level acting.
Yes, but it makes
from, Bruce Kimball.
It makes it, yeah, all the no moments and like, but it's what makes it. It's like that's the comedy of it.
Yeah, and yeah, it's oh God. Yeah. I wrote down so much stuff, but I think my favorite scene is when he's in the cabin like later that night, and it's like. Well, God, I'm always torn between the hand scene when he has to chop off his own hand, and the hand is like, it's almost like a Three Stooges bit where the hand is like a separate entity from the rest of his body.
Right.
And it's immediately got these really long nails, and it's all fucked up and like black and red looking. And it just grabs plates from the counter and just starts smacking him in the head with it until he knocks himself out. And then it just like starts. Also, the voice that the hand makes, it's like like all that.
Yeah, it's doing a little laughing.
Yeah, and then it just starts crawling towards the meat cleaver on the floor, and it just drags his whole body by the nails.
Yeah, I'm never and I think that was one of the first times where he's like, "Not my hand, you dirty bastards!" Like I'm never gonna be able to say "dirty bastards" again without thinking about this movie.
It's almost like did you ever see the original Planet of the Apes?
Probably at some point. It's one of my dad's favorite movies.
There's a line from it that I was like, it's like gotta be like he's just like doing like a reference to Charlton Heston, because there's a scene where he gets like trapped in a net. He's like, "Get your paws off me, you damn dirty apes!"
Yeah, it's an ode.
It's just like it's like a reference to like film pop culture as a whole. Like it's not even like necessary. It's just. Like whatever Orson Welles did for Citizen Kane, that's what Sam Raimi tried to do for like a shitty, like low budget B horror movie.
Yeah, man. I mean, that scene you're talking about with the hand, like it made me just want to watch Bruce Campbell smash plates on his own head for 2 hours. I was like, I could be entertained just by this.
His physical comedy is just, it's so over the top. It's to the point where it's so over the top that it should be bad, but it just works again. Like it goes full circle.
Right, because you gotta lean in, and he leans in.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, I guess one thing I don't understand is why the evil spirits don't possess him fully when like clearly they have the ability to do it as quickly as they did to Linda and as quickly as they did to the blonde guy, but they would just rather torture him and give him a chance to win. Like I mean, I know that if you do that, it takes away the plot of the movie, but
yeah, well, that was one of the things I noticed too. It was like I was thinking about that too, and so there's a scene towards the end where he's possessed again, just randomly, because it doesn't really like reveal itself before like. But he finds Linda's like little magnifying glass on the ground.
Yeah,
and he starts looking at it, and then he like starts coming back out of the trance, and I was like, oh, are they trying to say like love is the only thing that can like beat the demon? Because he's remembering Linda, and he's like in love with her, and she's like. It was the only thing that brought the demon out of him. And I was like, I don't know. That could be it. I have no idea. It's never spelled out.
Let's go with that as the message.
It seems like it because it's like that's the only times I can think of is when he snaps out of it. He's like it's either daylight or he's like remembering like being in love with her, and it like love conquers hate or
yes,
beats evil.
I like that.
Whatever.
Look, all I'm saying is fuck that blonde husband guy. Like that, he was the worst character I've ever seen in any movie. Like his first scene when they're walking out of the plane, he's like, "Oh, these pages haven't aged a day in 3,000 years. Hey, what'd your dad find in the Book of the Dead?" It's like, dude, what? Fucking get out of here.
He's just a dork.
Yeah.
He's just like, he's just there to give plot exposition and then be a zombie. Or a demon,
right? And he was a good demon. Like the scene with the tow truck driver, the first scene where you get introduced to the tow truck driver and Bobby Joe, and they're trying to figure out like how to get to the trail to get to the house. I couldn't get like that scene where they introduced them was so weird. Like the lines were weird, and like I couldn't get like a bead on everybody's motives, and it was just like what is the tow truck driver Bobby Joe doing out here, and why are they like trying to manipulate? It's just like I wanted more to that, but their characters never get fleshed out because they're just screaming and being attacked by demons the whole time.
Yeah, no, there's nothing to it. It's so there's Roger Corman movies from like the 60s and 70s.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, so independent movies weren't really, they were kind of a thing in the 50s. Like there were like little B movie studios that would make shitty movies that are really cheap, and then they would just pump them out because they needed to fill their quota. So I mean, movie theaters back in the day, they were loyal to a particular like film company. Like they could only, like if they wanted to show like the biggest releases from a certain movie company, they had to show all their movies.
Oh, crazy.
Like all the shitty stuff. So it was like a big monopoly, and it ended up getting broken up in the 60s and, being a big thing. But that was like in the 50s, like the indie stuff was through studios, but they would just give them bare bones, nothing. And then in the 60s, when they got broken up, Roger Corman came on the scene, and he gave young directors, like he had cobbled together like a film studio and gotten some backers, and he would just make all those movies from the 50s, and it would just be like, well, we need tits and ass, and we need someone's head getting chopped off, and that's the movie we're making, kind of thing. But anyway, he ended up being like one of the most important like film producers of all time, because he gave Martin Scorsese a big break, gave Francis Ford Coppola a big break, Brian De Palma, like tons of Robert De Niro, Jack Nicholson, like everybody that was big in like 70s Hollywood, he ended up giving them their break somehow. And so there's a lot of elements of those cheapo 60s and 70s horror movies that were bare bones. There's nothing to it, and we just need tits, ass, and blood everywhere, and then we can sell this thing.
Oh yeah, it's what makes it special.
Yeah, so that's the thing with this movie, though. It's like there's like an inaccessible quality. Like if like you don't know like the history or like where it's coming from, there's a lot to like unpack, and it like rewards you more like if you know like where it's coming from. Like the influences are like a really important element to it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So I mean, the thing with the Roger Corman movies is he gave a lot of younger directors their bigger break before they went on to do like bigger and better things. But the thing with the Corman movies, he was like, as long as you have, the baseline of stuff that I need to sell the movie, like you can go crazy, like do whatever you want to do, like artistically. And it just, I don't know if this is the case. This is the vibe I get when I watch the movie, but it feels like it's like Sam Raimi's thing. He's like, okay, I'm going to take this really low budget concept, and I'm going to be like, I can sell it really easily. It's a, cheapo horror movie, Cabin in the Woods kind of thing. And then I'm going to make it this crazy artistic thing, and, just see where that takes me. And it ended up being like one of the most influential horror movies ever. Like it made a huge deal for his career, kind of made Bruce Campbell a legend. So it's like, it's in the vein of that era of filmmaking. At least that's the vibe I get. It's never been like confirmed. This is just kind of like, my feelings about it.
Got it. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder what was the version that we just watched, like on Prime. Was it the same version that came out that got rated X?
Yeah.
I was curious if there was anything even more graphic that they may have removed to get it down to rated R.
Yeah, I was reading a couple things before. There were a couple of scenes they had to cut out. There was one with Henrietta, the mother. Like, she came upstairs and she was something about her sitting in a rocking chair, but I think there was something about her model that was really disturbing that they had to cut out.
Whoa.
And then there's a scene with Linda and her severed head, like puking like black bile all over all over Bruce Campbell.
Come on.
So yeah, there's a scene where it's like where she's like in the vice and like she has all the black goo all over her. her face. Apparently that's part of the scene that they cut out. But I mean, the scene they replaced it with was the body without the head, and then the chainsaw coming back and then chopping part of like the exposed remaining neck part.
That was some fucking raunchy shit.
Yeah. So there's just crazy stuff. But I'm with you. It was like some of the models and some of the miniatures, like it dates the movie, but I also think it was like even then it probably would have seemed dated.
Right.
So to me, it feels like an intentional, like goofy, quirky thing that they were doing.
It's the charm of it too, and it's like sometimes like you can just tell that they didn't even care, like the lack of continuity with the models, like even in the same scene. Like when there's one scene, I think when Henrietta's first introduced in the basement and she's chasing Bruce Campbell out of the basement, from her initial form when she comes out to the version of her that's peeking out the top of the ladder and trying to get out through the chains looked completely different, like radically different, like character model. And then she gets up and I was cracking up. I was laughing out loud when she throws the blonde husband guy into the wall and the picture frame like crashes on his head. Like just the pacing of that scene was fucking hilarious. I was losing it.
Yeah. Oh,
I idge bowled. Or have you heard about this idge bowl shit? That
idge bowl.
All these Gen Z. Yeah, apparently LOL is now officially completely dead, and it's been replaced with idge bowl, which is I just burst out laughing, which is not even like
what?
It's not even good. Like
no,
we've had LMAO, LMFAO. Like how is idge bowl cooler? You remember Raffle from back in the day? ROFL,
I do, yeah.
Rolling on the floor laughing like. These fucking Gen Z kids, man. Well, you're one of them. You don't.
Yeah,
so
barely.
You're included in this.
I feel like I'm more Gen X by spirit.
I think you are, man. But idge bowl, IJBOL apparently. So I idge bowled. So, anyways, continue.
That just sounds like a disease.
It does, man. It's fucking stupid. I'm saying it now, and I'm not ever gonna go back on this. It's fucking stupid. I will be the old man yelling at the cloud. I don't care.
I was just gonna say is like the worst part about getting old is I guarantee you there were people our age that when they heard LOL they're like, what the fuck? Say you're laughing.
Of course.
Just laugh.
Course.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, but see, here's the thing though. Here's why it's different, right? Like there was no internet shorthand for that kind of stuff. So our generation created all of the shorthand, but now we're in a phase where it's a generation in Gen Z and even Gen Alpha that have grown up with all of the internet shorthand that we already made, and they're just making new internet shorthand to say the same things. We're allowed to be pissed off at that, as opposed to Gen X that or even the like baby boomers that didn't have any internet shorthand. So of course they might have been like, LOL. Like I'm sure they were pissed when people started saying what was internet shorthand. When people would say LOL, like that's just fucking stupid. Like just say it. Say laugh out loud. It's the same number of syllables, or just actually laugh out loud. Why do you have to say? Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. But yeah, we were talking about how fucking awesome this movie is. Really, I think it's as simple as this, Sumner. All I ever really wanted to see in any movie was crazed, maniacal, laughing furniture.
That was the next scene I was going to talk about. That might be my favorite scene in the whole movie.
I mean, if there was anything that felt like it was the most iconic moment of the movie, it was that.
It was definitely that moment. Yeah, because... Hold on, my beer's overflowing. I got to pour it in there.
God, what an awesome problem to have.
Yeah, that's one of those scenes that's like, if it was made nowadays, that's one of those scenes the producers would look at. It's like, yeah, let's cut that. That doesn't really add anything to the overall movie. It's like, what does this say about the plot? It's like, it's amazing. That's what it says.
Yeah, that's what it fucking says.
It's one of the most, I can't even describe the feeling I get. I just get pure joy when I watch Bruce Campbell laugh with a severed head of a deer that's like on this little like. I love too when the deer has like the white eyes and then it turns really quickly with like, and you can hear like the neck breaking and stuff. Yes. And it just starts laughing. And then like halfway through the scene, like he's like bouncing up and down with the lamp that's going going crazy.
Yeah, he's like moving with it. That was where I lost it. It was great.
Yeah, and then and then it goes from like he's like laughing maniacally to like almost crying. He's like, ah, ah.
Yeah, it goes from laughing to yelling. And I even remember seeing, because I that was the point where I turned the subtitles off, because I was like, no, I just want to watch this. Because it went from, like the subtitles said laughing maniacally to yelling maniacally. And I was like, oh, that's exactly where the shift happened.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just, and that face he makes when he turns to the camera and he's got all the blood in his face and he's just like turned sideways and laughing hysterically. That used to be my phone background for a really long time.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, this isn't a movie without his performance. His performance is everything.
He's incredible. Like he's like channeling like Elvis Presley and like somebody else, like somebody not even.
I even got like Matt Dillon vibes.
You know what? That's so funny you say that, because Andy said the same thing. She's like, he reminds me of that guy from You, Me, and Dupree. Like, who is that guy? Like,
That's
Matt
the
Dillon?
movie that she picks.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I don't see it, but it's so weird that you said that too.
Wait, you don't see it at all?
I mean, I see like the really like jet black hair and like, but like their faces are like polar opposite.
I don't know, man. I think he's got a serious Matt Dillon thing going on. I mean, can we? Okay, so can we?
He reminds me
backtrack
more
a
of
little
Wesley
bit?
than he does Matt Dillon.
Which
freaked me
that
out.
I don't see at all.
Oh, okay.
Except the eyebrow. I see it in the eyebrow
And the
control.
jawline.
Wesley, yeah, and the jawline. Okay, I'll give you that. Wesley, our mutual friend Wesley, does have inhuman control over his eyebrows. And
Anyways,
his neck, for that matter. He can do a crazy turtle thing.
Oh,
Anyway,
there was
shout
that
out
thing
to
with
Wesley.
with the ears too, where it's like he's like the hand is in the wall, and then he's like listening for the ear in the wall.
Oh yeah, that was great.
And then the ear perks up, and then he shoots it, and then the blood shoots out of the wall.
The blood just pours out of the wall. Yeah, I can't imagine how many gallons of fake blood they went through shooting this shit.
And I do love too that they're like, okay, that's not enough. We have to have it turn black and then suck back into the wall.
Yeah.
Just awesome.
Wait, in which there was one demon in particular that had green blood. Was it the blonde guy when
It was
he
the
gets
blonde guy.
axed? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care that it's never explained why he's green, because it was awesome.
That was like Troll 2 blood. Have you ever seen Troll 2?
No, that's another one to put on the list.
Oh God, I don't even know. But it's that famous scene where that guy is like, they're eating her, and then they're going to eat me. Oh my God!
This sounds awesome. I have to see
You never
this.
seen that clip?
No.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah,
never mind.
send it to me. But okay, there are a couple of scenes in this that I have to get to that really stuck out at me. So I want to backtrack a little bit to when Bobby Joe and the truck driver guy first get to the house with the couple, and they run into Bruce Campbell, and they just start beating the shit out of him. Now I understand that, like, from their perspective, here's this crazy blood-soaked guy with a bloody chainsaw and the house is destroyed. Like, clearly he's some kind of drugged-out squatter or something, right? Like,
Right.
I understand the violent reaction, but the truck driver just beats the living shit out of him, like kicking him in the head, and like he has this line where he's like, well, throw him in the basement. The crazy buck's gone blood simple. I was like,
I didn't even
what does
catch that line.
Yeah, what does that even mean? Blood simple. He's gone blood simple. Like, is that? Explain that to me.
That's honestly like the only thing I can think of is that's a subtle reference to the Coen Brothers' first movie. It's called Blood Simple.
Really?
Yeah, they did a movie in 1984 called Blood Simple, and that was like
What does it mean?
I think that was just like a vague reference to Blood Simple.
That's fucking crazy.
But that's funny. I didn't even catch that line. I've never heard that line before.
Yeah, it was nutty. So there was that. I thought it was a little insane.
Well, the thing with that is though he's laughing with all the things, and then he shoots the door.
Oh
and
yeah, okay.
And it scrapes Bobby Joe's arm, so he comes in and beats the fuck out of him. And then they throw him in the basement.
Thank you for clearing that up for me a little bit, because it just felt like, I don't know, maybe I zoned out for a second. I was like, what the hell? They're just beating this shit up. But you're right. Yeah, you're right. He shot through the door. They might have heard or seen him laughing maniacally. They're assuming he's murdered. their parents. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, and I just looked up the character's name. It's supposed to be Jake. I'm not sure if they ever said that once in the movie.
No, you're talking about the truck driver?
Yeah, the truck driver guy is supposed to be named Jake.
They definitely never say his name.
Yeah.
Okay, so there were a couple more things I just wanted to bring up real quick, and I'm sure you got a bunch of stuff you want to talk about too.
Oh yeah.
So I wanted to talk about the scene where the dad's ghost appears, right? And
yeah.
This was the funniest
That's about as campy
shit.
That's about as campy as it gets. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. But what I wanted to talk about was the way that the dad delivers his line is it starts off, he's like trying to be all a spooky ghost, and then he very quickly just like gets rid of it and like he lets go of that because he starts off, he's like, Annie, there's an evil spirit that wants to kill you. You guys
Save my soul.
Save my soul, please. Like, yeah, it's how quickly he just like stops giving a shit about being a spooky ghost. And I didn't know if that was intent. That was another moment in this movie. There were so many of these where I was like, was that intentional just to be campy? That like he's letting them know he's a ghost by talking like that and then just doesn't give a shit? Or was it just lazy on the part of the voice actor? Like, I don't know.
It's gotta be laziness. It reminds me too of there's from The Departed when at the beginning of the movie, Leonardo DiCaprio is doing like a really thick Boston accent. He's like, he was a cop that worked for Jordan Marsh. And then like 10 minutes later in the movie, he's just talking like Leonardo DiCaprio. Like he just drops the Boston accent like halfway through the movie. That's what it reminded. He was just like, you know what, this is not working. I'm just gonna say this normally, be more effective.
Yeah, no reason to waste more tape by re-recording the lines.
Yeah, they're just funny little goofy things. It's just like you can tell it's just a bunch of dudes making a movie. And they're just like, fuck it.
Explain to me why. So I don't even know the name of the daughter who is trying to recite the passages the whole time.
Oh, I had to look that up too. Her name's Annie.
Wait, her name is Annie? I thought. Oh yeah, duh! I just said it. That's the dad's line. Okay, yes, her name is Annie. So there's the point, right, where they're fighting. They're fighting. This is toward the end, and shit's really getting crazy. And Annie's like, I only completed the first passage. Like, okay, I'm sorry. What the fuck have you been doing? Like, why did you not complete all of the passages when you had the opportunity? Like, Bruce Campbell's got this. Like, he can hold he can hold down the fucking fort. You've got one fucking job to say these 2 lines to put an end to all of this, and you've taken your sweet ass fucking time doing it. I mean, what? Like, she's known that she needed to do that for like half an hour at this point.
Yeah.
And she's like, wait, I've only said the first. Go fucking say the other one. What are you doing? Sorry. It pissed me off, man.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was watching it. I remember Bruce Campbell's line happening way quicker. I thought it was when he was fighting Henrietta where she was like, finish the fucking passages.
Yeah. Like,
because she waits for like until the tree monster bursts through the door. Like she waits until, and she's still explaining to him. She's like, "I've only completed the first passage. I need to complete the second one in order to send the team." She's like explaining things she's already said, and I don't know why.
I wish Bruce Campbell just would have been like, "You fucking stupid bitch, go fucking say the other passage. What are you doing standing here?"
He says something like that, but you can like barely hear him because the sound effects are going insane. He's like, "Finish the fucking passage." Yeah, no, I agree with you. Yeah, it's drawn out so long, and she just doesn't do anything.
But it makes it great. I think you know how Bruce Campbell is cool. You know how his character is cool because he calls every woman kid. Always wished I had that much power.
He did all right. Yeah, one of my favorite running gags, and this is probably one of the things that I think you're thinking of. Is like, is that intentional or is that just stupid? And it's when he's got the shotgun and he like keeps shooting the wall and stuff, and he keeps reaching into his front pocket for more shotgun shells. But there's just like an endless supply of shotgun shells that come out of his front pocket. Like he never goes back to like re-up or anything like that.
Hey, I just appreciate that he reloaded. Like, I feel like a lot of movies like this, you got a double barrel shotgun, he's never reloading that bitch. He's going to shoot it 30 times. But I appreciated the reloading.
And I do like there are times when he just unloads both barrels. Like he has to reload both of them. Like, because he used both of them in one go. I thought that was a nice touch.
A nice touch, yeah. I do agree the infinite pocket ammo the infinite frocket ammo is is a cheat code he clearly entered at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, it was like New Game Plus, like in Resident Evil or something like that.
Which reminds me, God, I really need to buy that remaster of Resident Evil 4. I want to play it so bad. Have you been playing it?
Oh, it's amazing. There's a great thing too. I don't think this is spoiling anything, but so the merchant, his role is expanded a lot. So you can there's like in some areas of the game, you can talk to the merchant, and then there's a little elevator that goes down. And if you go down, there's a shooting range down there. And then you can complete like little shooting range missions to like get better like perks for your suitcase, and you get like more like ammo drops and like little things like that make the game a little easier.
Fuck yeah.
And and like I've been trying to get S rank on all of them, and they're really difficult, but they're super fun.
But overall, it's a really good remake.
Yeah, I don't know if it's there are parts that are definitely better and more modern, but the original story they changed some things, and I just like the original Evil Dead 2 campiness of the dialogue of the original a lot more.
Right. Yeah.
So that's another thing too. Like Resident Evil 4, there's so much Evil Dead 2 in there. Like even like the beginning parts of the game, especially when he's in the Mexican camps and he's like with Luis in the little house, and they have to fight off all the zombies.
Yeah.
There's just like bits and pieces in there that I'm like, it's definitely taken influence from that, but that could just be projecting because I love this movie.
It was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. What do you have any other trivia or any other points you wanted to talk about?
I do like the mirror effect, like at the beginning of the movie, where he's looking.
Where he comes through it, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, we just chopped our girlfriend's head off with with a shovel. We're not doing fine.
I'm fine. He probably says I'm fine 5 times in that movie.
There's some line deliveries that murder me. There's that one too where he comes back from his demonic state like towards the end of the movie, and he's like trying to convince Annie's character. He's like, I'm all right, and then he like lays back, and then she like tries to throw an axe through his head again. That's another one where it's like he should have seen that coming from a mile away, but because the camera didn't see it, he didn't see it till he hits the wall.
Yeah, there needs to be. I'm sure there's a term for that type of cinematography. You gotta name it if it hasn't already been named.
Yeah, I've only ever heard Buster Keaton talk about it specifically, but that's like a great comedic device where it doesn't make any logical sense, but it's funny, and you don't really know why while you're watching, but it's so
we got to get into the ending, right? Because I know all I really know about Army of Darkness is that I've heard of it and that it was related to Evil Dead, and I remember it kind of being on TV and seeing stop motion skeletons in a desert. So at the end, I sort of associated it with that. But is Army of Darkness a sequel? Like what? Tell me about this fucking ending. Like what is going on?
Well, originally they went to the studio and they tried to have Evil Dead 2 made, and the original idea for Evil Dead 2 was Army of Darkness, because at the end of the movie. So like the beginning of the movie, when he gets like pushed through the forest and like he's like on that dolly and he's like spinning around through the forest, that's technically where Evil Dead 2 starts, because all the stuff before then is just recapping the first movie.
Oh, okay.
So originally, like he was supposed to get like sucked through the wormhole, and like Evil Dead 2 was just supposed to be Army of Darkness.
Okay, and so like I almost don't even want you to tell me about Army of Darkness because I don't know anything about it. But that's I'm assuming this was leading into that movie, right? So now I need to go fucking watch Army of Darkness. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not as big a fan of Army of Darkness. It's more it's a little safer than Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 was like a little edgier, a little like, because like I was saying earlier, they like got slapped with an X rating, which is like kind of a death sentence for any movie, but they got it unrated and it ended up being like a big cult success like afterwards.
Sure.
So they were like, well, we did Evil Dead 2, which basically just recaps and just builds upon the first movie a little bit. They did Army of Darkness as like their blockbuster kind of movie. It was almost PG-13. I think it just barely got slapped with an R rating. So there's like all the violence is definitely toned down quite a lot in the sequel.
Got it.
But it's still funny. It's got a bunch of Bruce Campbell's one-liners, and he's really good. But yeah, it's just not the same, in my opinion.
Well, good to know. I mean, I liked the brief introduction into that world anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then what was it? What was that line when he's after he almost gets his head chopped off? He's like looking, he's like staring at it, and he's like, "Do you hear what I'm saying? I'm all right." He just pauses and he's just like, "I'm all right." And he's like trying to tell him, he's like almost trying to tell himself he's okay.
Yeah. There were several of those "I'm all rights" that got me.
Yeah. And then the thing with the end with the tree monster when his hair turns like this streaky gray out of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
Which I thought was kind of a cool, like, it's like if you experience enough stress in your life, your hair can turn gray, like kind of thing. Like,
Right.
I thought it was just kind of a funny touch.
Yeah, interesting touch. Intentional touch.
Yeah, but I'll go through his one-liners real quick, and then we'll give the our ratings real quick. Then we can go.
It's business. You gotta get through the one-liners.
So I think the first one was when Linda's biting his hand at the beginning of the movie, and it's like her severed head like just falls on his lap, and then she like bites his hand, and he's like without much care just slamming her head into the walls and like trying to decapitate her with a book and shit. It's like, it's so gruesome but so funny. But then he has this moment where it was obviously 80 yards later where he's like, "Work shed," and then he runs out to the work shed.
Work shed.
And then
what does she say when she's in his lap? She's like, "Hello, lover."
Yeah, hello, lover.
Like that got used so many times after that.
Yeah. And then where she's like, "Yo, Linda suffers," and then he can't think of anything to say, so he's just like, "You're going down."
Yeah. Oh, dude, that stuck out to me. You're going down. I was like, what? That's the best you got.
And then of course Groovy, which is the most famous line in the movie.
Groovy. Wait, is it really? No way.
Yeah.
Oh God.
That's like a big thing at like Comic-Con. Like people will come up and ask him, "Is like, can you just say groovy?" And he's like, "Groovy."
Oh God. Okay.
But the funny thing about that line too is, like even probably more so in 1987, groovy was like the most cheesy cliche thing you could say, because the 60s were like groovy was like this cool hip thing to say, and then in the 80s it was definitely not a cool thing to say. So the fact that he says it just reinforces the tongue-in-cheek, like over the top campiness of it.
Okay. I guess I see the utility. I understand.
Yeah, I love it. I take that you don't care for that one.
I mean, it just I don't know. I was like, okay, maybe it's because I feel like I've heard so many people use it in like a horror situation like that it seemed like it's just another one of those things where it's like a movie that's so influential, so many of these scenes and lines, that it influenced other things that I've seen already. So hearing it here was like, ugh, cheap. But like this was the origin. It's cool. I'm not hating on that line. I'm not hating on it.
Yeah. I know what you mean. And what was that one little joke where he severs his hand, then he puts it underneath like a paper like waste basket, and then he puts the books on top of it, and then the book on top of the pile is a farewell to arms.
Yes, yeah, like, that's pretty great.
Just a stupid little joke they threw in there.
Yeah, dude, it's so funny. I think I had started writing that note and got distracted. I have a note that just says "fair," F-A-R-E. Like I had started writing it and then probably like looked up and forgot to keep writing it.
Yeah. It's there's so many little stupid things like that. And then what was the other one? I think that's and then swallow this. I think it was the last one. So
swallow this. Fuck yeah, that was awesome.
But yeah, it's oh god. Yeah, it's one of those ones that like I think everybody should see at some point, but I think if you have more of a background in like pop culture-y kind of stuff, I think you'll get more out of it than if you just like watch it on a whim. It's like, oh, this is like a scary movie. It's like, not really. Like it's
Yeah, no, you need to know what you're getting yourself into.
I wouldn't say any of it is particularly scary. Maybe disturbing, like some of it, but I don't think there's ever anything in this movie that scared me.
No, yeah, I'm with you. But it was a romp. It was a joy. It was fucking awesome. Great record.
Great record. That was fucking transcendental, Paul McCartney.
Transcendental. All right, what's your rating on this baby?
I'd give it like
how many beers?
A 1, but it's definitely more fun with 4.
Yeah, see that, man. Again, the inherent flaw with our rating system.
See, that's the. But we're also talking about the duality of our rating system.
Exactly.
It's like you have to understand, it's highly rated, but there's also this other element to it that's we're not talking about too.
Yeah, maybe it's the most genius. Maybe it's the only truly fair scale ever devised.
Yeah, you got to talk about the dichotomy. It's like, this is amazing, but in the most terrible way possible.
Right. Yeah, and I think I'm gonna give it 2 stars. I feel like it was a banger. Or no, I needed 2 beers to enjoy it, right? But same thing. I mean, I had 2 beers and it was awesome. Whereas if I'd have drank 5, I'd have been probably fucking really digging it. So I'm gonna say 2 beer minimum. So that averages us out at what 1.5 beers, which is a damn good score.
Just get yourself an IPA and you'll be having a really good time.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, it is spooky season.
We should tier the rating system. It's like, this is IPA tier rating. This is a Miller Lite tier.
we talked about that like early on when we were coming up with the rating system. Like if we should do we need to scale the scale with types of alcohol?
It's like a badge. It's like the Medal of Honor for like if you get like a non-alcoholic beer, like you're a perfect movie.
Yeah, fucking A. Well, I guess that's probably it for this week of One Guy Seen It, man. What an episode this was. That's, that's a movie we just watched.
That was a fun one. Enjoyed that.
Fucking awesome.
It's just payback for you making me watch a stranger. It's just a payback for you making me watch a stranger. I was like, here's a real Cabin in the Woods movie.
Oh no. This is in such a different. You can't even put those 2 movies in the same conversation.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah, not even close. No, what I did to you was actual punishment. Selfish punishment. What I got today was horror history enlightenment. Very, very different things.
I do keep thinking back to The Strangers, though. There was a point where it was so bad that I was like, this is actually kind of fun. I'm actually kind of enjoying how bad this is.
Right? You have to learn to embrace it.
But it wasn't like campy enjoyment like Bruce Campbell giving like Elvis one-liners throughout the movie.
And see, I couldn't tell you like, hey, this is objectively terrible. Just put yourself in that headspace so you enjoy it, because that would have ruined the movie. Yeah,
definitely. Like I kind of had to come to that. But I mean, like you had enough faith in me that I would come to that conclusion eventually.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, I guess next week it's my job to have a spooky movie for you.
Yeah. And if you don't got one, I got one too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you got him in the bag. Got him in the bag. All right, well, this is One Guy Seen It. We love you out there, listeners, all 12 of you.
We
maybe more by now. We don't even know. This is wait, what's how do we end the show? What's the line?
We love all movies, but every movie's better with at least 1 beer.
Yes, and remember, all movies are better with at least 1 beer.
One guy's seen it, the other guy hasn't. First guy's gonna tell the second guy all about it while they both get drunk.